So we are in the fourth paragraph of Meseches Derech Zuta, right at the beginning. He says, "Tamid Chachamim noyim b'chabura ve'in amei aretz noyim b'chabura." It's good to have a chevra with Tamid Chachamim, not amei aretz. That was Aleph in the Derech. Now with base, ha'osek mikra mina ve'in mikra. So well-known quote in Shas. Is that right? Ha'osek mikra mida ve'in mida. Now Derech says, "Ha'osek mikra." Mida ve'ina mida. First Shas says, "Pometzia mida hiktsas ve'ina mida." It's learning Torah Shviksav is a partial mida and not a complete mida. Shamisha and Talmud yofi mera. The Mishnah and the Talmud are superior. Nation tlim begirsa umistachim because they are required. They have to do with the versions and they are easy to forget. Shemeim lo Talmud Shviksav. Their days the Talmud was not written down. Gamla nitan lichtav weren't allowed to write. El pishismatu above us. But because of the diminished capacities of the hearts, the later generation started writing them. So the Rashi is saying it's a mida. Mida means it's nice to learn Mikra, but it's not the full demonstrate. It doesn't generate the full capacity of prowess, which is necessary in order to master Mishnah and Talmud. For Rasha b'Chidush Haggadah, the Maharsha says for Shvisha's man limar Mikra and Rakat Eser Shonim, learning Tanakh only till 10 years old. If maybe if you're Yemenite, you can master it by then. And this is the time when a child does not get reward on learning. In other words, it's not the full mitzvah. It's a midah, but not a full midah. Also, it's possible to explain. It says the Derech himself. According to that which we said, Torah in itself is without limits. And every pasuk can be subdivided into many different intentions and many different details. The Chachamim Talmud VaMedrash and the Chachamim of the Talmud and of the Midrashim, they with the breadth of their understanding, but Bachru b'Kavanas HaMikra, HaKavanah also lehem l'tachlis. They chose the intent to which the pasuk could be put. In other words, a perspective on the pasuk's meaning, which is appropriate for whatever purpose they're attempting to accomplish. Whether it's Kishra Maisa to make people act in better ways, Hamusari Muskali, or whether to make people more ethical or more intellectual. Yes, and all other intentions. All intentions which you can load into the pasuk. The Ravova writes Hashkafa is bad thing because Hashkafa means you take your perspective and you put it into the pasuk. And whereas Musar means you take the pasuk and try and see what it's teaching you. But that works mostly. Ravova's right actually not about psukim, but about Chazal. And in Chazal, there's much less leeway for this kind of activity. But in Tanakh, the fine art of Drush allows much more of this because each pasuk has multiple level interpretations and affords many level of interpretations and therefore can be loaded with many different types of intentions, even to the point of what we call, somewhat derogatorily, although perhaps we shouldn't, a Hasidic Javot, where we understand that the pasuk has very little to do with the idea, but it is a tool by which the idea is conveyed. But that too is part and parcel of the Midah Mikra, which is a malleable, it consists of malleable phrases, which are meant to work on many different levels and function in many different ways. So all these, they left for the wise of heart to explain each one the intent, which the spirit of his understanding will give him to understand. So somebody who learns Mikra without the words of the Gemara, even if according to his unique interpretation, he'll find in the Mikra words of wisdom and intelligence. Because obviously it's coming from a holy place. Any divitor which a person can come up with. If that's the case, it is a laudable measure. It's not a true midah. It will still be flawed relative to what you can get according to Talmud and according to what the Bali Talmud have expounded on psukim. So in other words, any person can dash psukim, and they can dash psukim firsthand, directly from the source. But whatever kavanah you impart the pasuk, you should know it's not on the same level as Chazal, what they imparted to the pasuk, or infer from the pasuk, or imparted to the pasuk. So therefore, it's always better to have the midah of Mishnah and Talmud or Medrash even when learning Mikra. Okay, so the next one is Mishnah. Mishnah is midah shenodim lo schar, which there is reward. Says the Derech, Mishnah midah v'nodim lo schar af shagam b'mishnim to dvarim b'shul kalocha, even though the words in the Mishnah which are not halachically correct. Or I should say, not locally correct. I think it means which are not phrased properly and could be misleading. Like Gemara often says, the studying Mishnah, or who's the Mishnah going? It's only going like so and so. They are the words of Tanoim. Right? That clearly their words have Torah intent to them. Even when halacha is not like those Tanoim, studying the Shita, which is lowly but Hilchasa, is also praiseworthy and reward worthy. Chazal say, these and those are the living words of Hashem. Even those which are shalok halacha, like Beishamai. Marshal continuing with his chronological interpretation, says because Mishnah is from 10 to 15. Then a person already is coming into a time when he can receive reward. Because in the middle of that period he becomes an adult. So that's the Mishnah, because you come into the level in which you can get actually schar mitzvah as an adult. There's no greater midah than Talmud, says the Derech and Dalin. Talmud clarifies the most true intent of the Torah in order to enhance one's observance. It's the person, once he hits 15, and he graduates from Mikra and Mishnah, he learns Gemara for the rest of his life. So it's called a Midah Gdola, because it lasts chronologically the longest amount of time. One of the cryptic things is that even though Talmud seems greater than Mishnah, you always should run to the Mishnah over the Gemara. So it says that there the Talmud says, this Mishnah was learned in the times of Yehuda Nasi. At a time when everybody fled the Mishnah, and they ran to the Talmud because they just thought El Chamid Gadol Mizu. So Darsh Lu, Rebbe was trying to fend off that trend. Run to the Mishnah more. So the Mishnayos will be forgotten, their proper format. And the names of Chacham will be confused. When they should say Chayiv, they'll support them to say also should say Mutter. And therefore, although Talmud is a Midah Gdola, it has to be based on appropriate understanding and appropriate knowledge of the Mishnayos. Talmud requires careful analysis and deliberation, the use of one's mind in the appropriate way. Certain people can't learn Talmud properly, certain young children, because they learn quickly and they don't have the sitzfleisch to sit and learn in the appropriate pace. Learn the merutza. So if you're going to learn quickly, then Talmud is not for you. Then that's what it's like to say, saying, don't learn B'yin, learn B'kiyos. For you, B'kiyos is more appropriate. Okay, Rats the Mishnah, Yosem Miyat Talmud. For you, it's better to run to the Mishnah than to run to the Talmud. And then, as Vav, I say to us, B'chinam, V'lo Tiyot Alav Schar. To make a Torah for free and don't take reward for it. Because Hashem gave it for free. This statement will continue on to for several seifim here, so to speak. But let's see this one there. Chaim. It seems it's not difficult to understand this. Everything Hashem made was for free. Didn't take anything for its price. So why it's simply Torah? He might have Torah. Why is it say you have to teach it for free? Because the Torah is given for free. The Chazal said, Hashem made the world he made for his honor. Everything Hashem made was not for naught. It's difficult to say this. I don't like this because this is certainly not the most profound understanding of a Kosh Baruch being the word, creating the world of Chvoidoi. But be that as it may. He says here that everything the honor of Hashem, which people perceive from that creation, is its price. In terms of grasping at the Torah, they said an hour of tranquility in the world to come is greater than more appreciated than all the life of this world. And the way the Derech said means, but a person can attain even just a moment of Torah in the higher world at Olam HaEmes, and he can't attain in his entire life in this world. So if that's the case, the person doesn't get, so to speak, any advantage from that which Hashem gives him understanding to in this world. Like Nasa B'Chinam, he said he gave it to he gave it for free. In other words, there's no you're not getting anything. The return for it is vastly more than what you invested in it. So it's like the son of Mechina. It's only given to you for free in order for your advantage. In order that you should be able to gain a foothold, a grasp of that which is the true intelligence. So Hashem gives that to you just as like a free pass to get eventually to Olam Haba. So you should give your learning to other people as a free pass to others, so that they should be able then to gain their access to their own capacity on their own.